Hi guys, it's Nevaeh. I'm here to sprinkle my thoughts on you. Today's video is not going to be for everybody. It is not going to align with everybody. It is not meant for everybody. So I hope what I say today is in service of you and it could help you guys tremendously. Message of today is stop trying to force relationships and friendships that no longer align with you. The life that you want, you are not going to get if you continue spending too much time with the people who you have been spending time with. When it comes to my future, I dream big. I see it all. I see the big house, the nice car, happiness. And I don't think that happiness just comes from luxury things, but I do feel like it could come as well. And that's just the life I envision for myself. I envision myself being abundant, wealthy, having a lot of the wants that I want. And I don't think that just comes from anywhere. I think that comes from hard work. That comes from surrounding yourself with the people who are meant to align with you. And it comes from being different. And that's just what it boils down to. So stop surrounding yourself with people who are okay with where they're at. Well, that's not where you're okay with being at. Unless they're people who are doing better than you or people who are doing what you're doing and striving for what you're striving for, they're not worth being around. For example, I see my life in a big, nice house, driving a nice car, working my dream job, doing whatever I feel like makes me happy, and not living average. And that's just how I see my life. So who would I be to align with somebody who is okay with working a 9-to-5, who doesn't dream about bigger things and is very content with the life that they're living? And I'm not saying anything is wrong with contentment. It's okay to want to stay where you're at. It's okay to want to continue living the life you're living. If that's what truly makes you happy, if that's where you find fulfillment, if that's where you find joy, if that's where you feel like God has called you to be, then who am I to say that's wrong? But who am I to try to force a relationship with people who do not align with me? For example, I was having a conversation with somebody today. We were talking about this very subject, and he was telling me, like, I like hanging out with this friend. I like how whenever we're together, we could vibe. A lot of the time, this friend spends a lot of time smoking, and he works a good job, and he works 9-to-5, but that's not where the person that I was talking to wants to be at in life. This person does not want to spend majority of their time at a 9-to-5, and then they're off time smoking. It's not that their friend is making horrible money, but it's nothing compared to the dreams that the person I was talking to has. So, just like, yeah, you're right. Like, you can't spend too much time with that person. I'm sure that person has purpose in your life to an extent. You could spend a certain amount of time with that person because they bring you happiness and they bring you joy whenever you guys are together. But to spend too much time with that person is going to be toxic, and it's ultimately going to be bringing you down, because it's either going to make you stagnant or it's going to make you want to be where that person is at. Because whenever you're around somebody too much, or you're around somebody a lot of the time, you guys start to do things alike without even realizing it. Their ambitions start to become your ambitions, and if their ambitions aren't big, yours might get a little bit smaller than what they were. And so I was saying, like, yeah, that person's not a bad person to be around. They might have good morals, they might be fun to be around, they might bring you enjoyment, but imagine you seeing yourself in a big house and a nice car and creating abundance, having your own business, working for yourself, but you're constantly around this one person who is okay with the job that they're at and okay with where they're at and doesn't strive for bigger things like you do. You might think like, wow, just because this person is making a little bit more money than me right now, that dang, like maybe I should find a job like that so I can make a little bit more money. And then you start to get stuck at that job that you got because you were striving to be like that person that you're around, instead of striving to be around people who were like you, who wanted bigger things, or people who were already at where you wanted to go. I mean, there's times where I had friends that I truly aligned with at a certain point of time in my life. I aligned with their thinking processes. The way we thought was very much alike, but as we started to get older, we started to drift apart. And there's nothing wrong with us being different. There's nothing wrong with us seeing different futures, having different dreams. But where I wanted to go, I could not take all of those people with me. And I'm not saying that I can't spend any time with them, that I can't be around them at all. But I'm just saying I can't have them be the main focus of my life. I cannot spend too much time with them that it takes away from me spending time with somebody else who has bigger dreams, that it takes away time from me finding people who align with what I align with. And that's just what it boils down to. It's the hard, cold truth. And sometimes people don't want to hear it, but you are who you hang out with. If you hang out with a bunch of homeless people, you might be the next person who's homeless. If you hang out with a bunch of millionaires, you might be the next person who's up. If you hang out with a bunch of rappers, you might be inspired to rap. If you hang out with poets, you might be inspired to make some poetry. Whoever you surround yourself with the most is who you are going to ultimately become. And a lot of people don't say that. And I used to be that one person that says, well, they surround themselves with me, so what if I bring them up? But when you do that, when you tell yourself that, well, they're around me, so what if I bring them up? You're constantly going to be worrying about fixing other people's lives. You're constantly going to be wanting to bring other people where you're going, and that's not where they really wanted to go. If they really wanted to go, they'd be surrounding themselves with people like you as well, not just you. How are they surrounding themselves with you but continue being around all those 20 other people who don't align with you whatsoever? It's just not going to work. You need to be around people who align with you, people who want what you want, people who are going where you're going, people who have the faith that you have, people who have the dreams you have. Because if you're hanging out with small-minded people, your mind is going to shrink. Your dreams are going to shrink. I was watching a video, and it was Steve Harvey. He was talking about how, I think he was saying fleas, how they have a 36-inch vertebrae and they could jump 36 inches high. And he said, but if you put them in a jar, they'll keep trying to jump, they'll keep trying to jump, they'll keep trying to jump. And this jar is this, and this is the flea. They're constantly trying to jump. They're constantly trying to jump. And then they realize that once they reach this lid, that they keep hitting it. So what they start doing is they start jumping, and they don't hit the lid anymore. This lid is the people in your life. You're capable of being able to jump so high, but because you allow yourself to have this lid of people, you're constantly jumping lower than you should be jumping, whenever you should really take the lid off and go with people whose lid is way up here or who don't have a lid, so you could go high and get to where you could actually reach, so you could reach your full potential. But you keep hanging out with those friends, you keep hanging out with that lid, and now you're stuck jumping here whenever you were meant to jump here. Your visions were here, your thinking process was here, but you chose to surround yourself with those friends, those families whose visions were here, and now you're jumping like this just with everybody else, and you guys are all just hitting that same spot. It's ridiculous. And what it boils down to is, like, what do you really want for yourself? Do you want what they want? Or do you want more? And that's why I said this video is not for everybody. This video is not to bring down people who are stagnant. This video is not to bring down people who are content. This video is not to bring down people who are okay with where they're at in life. Because like I said, if that's where you're happy at, if that's where you find fulfillment, if that's where God calls you to be, then be there. That's fine. But this video is for people who God calls to be in other places. This video is for people who you might want to see yourself being an actor. You might see yourself running a business. You might see yourself having a YouTube channel and gaining lots of subscribers like I do. You might see yourself even just simple as being a therapist, but you have to go through the process of going to school in order to get there. This is for those people who see themselves doing a lot of things that other people are too scared to do, or other people have no desire to do, or other people might not even be called to do, because that's not what God wants for them. But you know in your heart that God wants something bigger for you. And that's probably why you made it to this part of the video. You know that you want more for yourself. So this is who this video is for. If you feel like this video doesn't align with you and you're one of those people who are completely fine where they're at, you don't dream of having a bigger car, you don't dream of having a bigger house, you don't dream of having more, that is okay. But this video is for the people who want more for themselves. And I'm telling you, if you want more for yourself, you need to really get away from those people who are holding you back, because they're constantly going to keep being in that lid, and you're going to keep jumping right below that lid because you don't want to take that lid off and reach your full potential. I used to force myself to align with people who did not align with me. At a certain particular part of time, they did align with me, and then they ended up not aligning with me, and I used to try to force myself to stay in their lives because I had this love for them. I had this strong connection to them. But not everybody is meant to be in your life, and not everybody is meant to be in the same environment that you're in. Not everybody can go where God is taking you. So stop trying to force things that are not meant to be there. You're just going to hold yourself back. Like, if I would have realized a lot sooner or a lot earlier what I should have been looking for in people, or the people who I should have been surrounded with, I might even be farther in life right now, because I might have been so motivated seeing that group of people chase for their goals, chase for their dreams, that I would have been the next one there. And it's okay. Like, I appreciate the journey And I appreciate where I'm at right now. I'm fine with where I'm at because I know where I'm going. But I'm just saying that's an example of somebody being held back when they could have went a lot further in life. And like I said, I'm thankful for the process. At least I figured it out right now at 19 instead of figuring it out at 40. But if you are watching this video and you have figured it out at 40, you could have figured it out at 80. You could have figured it out the day before you died. Like, so just get to it now and really lock in. It's going to hurt sometimes not being around those people you were used to being around. You're going to miss them. It might feel like a heartache, but honestly, is being with them worth all of your dreams? Worth what you really want for yourself? Is it worth your full fulfillment and your happiness? It's not. It's not. I'm telling you right now, it is not worth it. You will regret it in the future. You will wish you surrounded yourself with different people who are going to push you for more. And if you don't see it right now, you might see it later. But I'm sure if you're watching this video, you do ultimately see it right now. So listen to that voice in your head. Like, it's 8:11 in the morning. I'm not that far away from my school. I'm there a little bit early today, and I stopped. And I was like, let me record this video next to all these inspiring homes, these nice homes, because I'm the next person who's going to own something like this. And let me record a video to motivate somebody else, because while I'm recording this video, I'm in action of doing my dreams. And just look, I'm like somewhere I've never been. Living in a city I have never lived in before. In this nice neighborhood in the hills right now. In the hills. Not everybody is looking at views like this right now. Not everybody is doing these things. But I am. So why would I be surrounding myself with people who don't want to do these things? Who don't want to look at what I'm looking at? It's nice. It's beautiful. This is what I want for myself. And sometimes people have that false belief, like, oh, if you're a Christian, like, you shouldn't be chasing money, you shouldn't be chasing abundance, you shouldn't be chasing, like, basically just tell me I shouldn't be chasing fulfillment and happiness, because I know money doesn't come from all of those. I know fulfillment and happiness doesn't come from all of those things. But it sure would be nice to praise God and then go to sleep in a nice big home, wouldn't it? It would feel good, wouldn't it? If God was like, here, take this home, take this car, you would take the offer, wouldn't you? You would. There's this false belief that people who chase money or people who want better for themselves idolize money. And sometimes it can get to the point of where people are idolizing money and caring about it way too much. But I mean, sometimes you have to care about it. Sometimes people don't care about it enough. I do not want to live a life where I have to live check to check. I've been there. Car payments, bills. It's not fun. Living a life where you have to worry about where your money is going to be each month and hoping that you don't lose your job, or you're hoping that your source of income doesn't stop. It's not a good feeling. Of knowing that you only have enough money to pay your bills, to pay your car payments, to buy the food in your house, and to support your children and buy diapers, but not be able to afford taking a trip because you have to worry about, like, dang, is this trip worth spending money on gas, worth buying the tickets, worth doing all this? Am I going to have money the next month? That's not a good feeling. That feeling of living check to check, that is not a good feeling. It is not a sin to want to make money. It's not a sin to want to be happy. It's not a sin to want more for you. You serve a big God. We serve a big God up there. We serve a big God. God can do it. If you're around people who talk about rich people, if you're around people who are like, look at them thinking they're all that in their nice car. If you're around people who think like that, you're in for a good one. Because you're constantly going to be looking at people who have better than you with envy. You're going to be looking at them with jealousy because you're around people who look at people like that. Stop doing it. Be happy for people. Surround yourself with those kind of people. Surround yourself with those people who are doing better than you. Surround yourself with people who are in a nicer home than you, in a nicer house than you, in a nicer car than you, in a nicer school than you, in a nicer anything. And I'm not saying that they're any better than you, but I'm just saying that ultimately a lot of people hate on people who have better than them because that's ultimately what they wish they had. Don't be a hater. Like, just join the squad. If you hang out with millionaires, you're the next one up. You hang out with singers, you're the next one up. You hang out with poets, you're the next writer. You hang out with race car drivers, you're the next one zooming. What? Stop playing with me. So yeah, I just hope this was really a word for somebody. I don't hope it was a word for somebody. I know somebody needed to hear this, because there was a point in time when I needed to hear this. There was a point in time when I was just listening to podcasts and getting motivated because I needed to hear these kind of things. I know right now, even if I don't get a comment, even if I wasn't to get a like, when I see those views, I know at least one person in there was able to benefit from what I'm saying. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have an extremely great day. I'm about to start driving and go park so I can go to class. I have all 3 of my classes today, so I'm a busy girl. It's Friday. I have finals coming up from Monday to Wednesday, so I'm going to be studying all weekend. But I was like, why not get a video in, because this is what I love to do. I'm passionate about speaking to people. I love making videos. It's fun for me. It's soothing to me. It's what I love to do. And so I just hope that this word really helps somebody. I hope that somebody really benefits from what I'm saying. And I hope that you really do get away from those people who are causing you to be stagnant. It's okay to love on them from a distance, to talk to them from a distance, but don't allow them to drag you down or making you keep hitting that lid I was talking about, because you're meant to go way higher. You cannot keep being in that peanut jar. Anyways, holla at your girl. Be real or be real. Mwah.